Hello, and welcome to Perchance to Dram. Tonight, I have a very special whiskey to taste. It is, as you can see, the Springbank 12-year-old, which is a regular release at Cask strength. I've wanted to get more into Campbelltown whiskeys. That was kind of my I don't really make New Year resolutions, but that was one of my New Year resolutions for 2021. So here we are, a bottle of Springbank. I haven't purchased a bottle of Springbank in many years, but I've had some good experiences with Campbelltown lately, and yeah, more on that later. But first, let's get down to the whiskey. Closer look. All right, let's take it out of this wee box. The back of the bottle. Springbank single malt whiskey is free of artificial coloring. Also, it is not chill filtered. And this is as it should be. For all great whiskey, this will cause a slight natural haze to form when it is cold, but this will disappear when the temperature returns to normal. I mean, it's a little judgmental, right? I mean, one man's normal, right? In any event, that won't affect us here. It's not like I'm going to put any ice in this. Lovely. 57.1 alcohol by volume. Let us open it, shall we? Oh, I get nuts on there immediately. Yeah, kind of nutty. A little bit oaty or malty. Yeah. It's a handsome bottle. Right. That's rather generous. Let that sit for a second. Now this regular cask strength release of the Springbank single malt is composed of Springbank whiskeys that were aged in bourbon casks and in sherry casks at purportedly about a 70-30 or 60-40 ratio of the two in the vatting. Yeah, if you don't know about Springbank, I mean it's one of the three active distilleries in Campbelltown, which used to be a huge center of the whiskey industry in Scotland. And Springbank is known for being rather pricey due to its rarity. The way they do things is quite old-fashioned and therefore more time-consuming and more expensive. But it has a great cult following among whiskey fans, and for me, let's see. I mean, I had the Springbank 10 a long time ago when I first started getting into whiskey, 2007. And I don't know, back then, I mean, my palate wasn't very well developed, and so I was like, oh, this is okay. But didn't feel to me to be anything special. Um, Later on, I was at a bar, and the bartender was someone who was very passionate about Campbelltown whiskey, and so I went the full Springbank distillery cycle. I had a dram of the tin, and then a dram of Hazelburn, which he was on the house, and then a dram of Longrow. Those three being the different brands that all come from the same distillery as Springbank. Um, the Springbank brand is they say 2.5 times distilled, and is medium peated, I suppose, or low peated, and then Hazelburn is triple distilled, like most Irish whiskeys, is non peated, and then Longrow is the more heavily peated entry. And at the time I was I was fairly impressed, but here in Utah, it's difficult to get your hands on some of the rarer whiskeys, and I haven't had much of an opportunity. So the reason I made this this promise to myself, this resolution to get more into Campbelltown this year, was because I had an experience last year at a nice whiskey bar that has a great selection in Salt Lake City. My wife and I took my niece out for her 21st birthday, and I had a glass of the Kilkerran 8-year-old cask strength from Glengyle Distillery, which is owned by the same people who own Springbank. And that, I think, really turned me on to Campbelltown whiskey and made me want to explore more. And this was it was one of the bourbon releases of the Kilkerran 8-year cask strength, not the recent sherry release that everybody's crazy about, that I'm trying to find. But it was so good. It was intense. It was earthy, funky, mushrooms, vitamin or herbal. Very good, very good. And so, that made me decide that I wanted to get more into Campbelltown. And here we are with this. So yeah, here's hoping that I don't get a big smell of like I don't know, cured meat, which is not my favorite note. I don't mind a little bit of sulfur, but when it goes over into like salami, I have had that in a Springbank 15 once, and not a fan. So we'll see how this goes. Yeah. Ooh. Oh, juicy fruit, kind of tart, and with a kick to it. Yeah, and then something in there. Something in there that's a little more savory. Yeah, it's got kind of a note in there of like a bread, maybe sourdough. Oh, but yeah, very fruity. It's not really what I was expecting. I'm used to kind of a nougat, like Snickers, um, with some of the previous Springbank I've tried it, as well as the Hazelburn. That is almost like a fruit by the foot. I mean, that's amazing. it's like candy fruit. A little bit of the dried fruit in there, but it's kind of an undernote. It's fresher than that at the top. Um, Maybe a little pineapple. Mm. I guess I'm getting a note of kind of wood, oak. I mean, this nose, like I could nose this for a long time, right? Which is normally what I would do when I'm first doing the neck pour of a whiskey, but um, I don't care to take up that much time. Yeah, and there's something slightly mineral in there. Yeah, let's taste this. Slosh. Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm. Oh. Yeah. You definitely tell that's 57.1. I don't usually dilute, but that definitely feel that in the old tongue. Wow. Yeah. I mean, it has that fruitiness, that just burst of fruitiness at the beginning, um, and goes a little bit more into a touch of leather, and you do get that oiliness um, that that you know Springbank is kind of known for. I do get a little bit of that kind of nougat. It's got a little bit nuttiness to it um, from the sherry casks, I imagine, but also a little bit of that mineral, I guess, kind of vitamin mineral that I really like. That is, yeah, I can feel that on my tongue. I mean, that is very intense. And like I say, I don't usually dilute, but it's one I might consider diluting. Um, yeah, the finish so far, a little bit underwhelming. I just get kind of chewy, um, really towards that oiliness. Yeah, dang, it's a hell of a malt. Ooh, yeah. Oh man, that fruit. I mean, I definitely pineapple in there. So many things, right? I mean, we've got a whole physical part of our brain, right here that's connected to scent, and there, it's it can pick up on things that you remember, but you can't describe. Um, but yeah, Springbank, what a heritage, right? From Campbelltown, and I am a huge admirer of the way they handle their business. From malting their own barley on site, um, all through the whole process of maturing and bottling on site, all of their whiskeys. Wooden washbacks. Who knows what difference those make, but why change a good thing? I always prefer wooden washbacks. I see that with a distillery, I'm like, I want that whiskey. Worm tubs gives it that thickness. All right, let's have another sip of this. See if my tongue is more acclimatize. Dang, yeah. I mean, still a lot of fruit in there. Picking up a little bit more of the orchard fruit now. A little bit of chocolate. Forgive my wild gesticulations. This is a hell of an experience. Man. Yeah, and I get a little bit of that. I mean, some earthiness. Some real earthiness in there. Like a little bit of mushroom, you know? I really got to get more into Campbelltown. Because I mean, I love this feeling, the intensity, the depth of flavor, the earthiness. You know, it's something that, you know, you're not really going to find all that often outside of Campbellton, and you're not going to find at all in, you know, in most whiskeys that are aimed at you know, people who are not enthusiasts. So it's a little dank, moist in there. It feels like I'm in a cave. It's like a cave, and maybe there was a fire there, like last night, right? But now it's well into morning. Maybe there's a little bit of rain outside. You can smell a little bit of that rain. And you got some mushrooms in the cave. Yeah. Mm. And then the nose, so back to the nose, so fruity, right? Ooh, but then now I'm picking up a little bit more of the smoke, and that's, you know, influence of the taste buds, and a little bit more of the smoke in there. So, you know, this is definitely one that, you know, it's not a simple whiskey, and it's one that, you know, as the experience unfolds and you kind of let yourself be led on that journey. Yeah, a little bit more of that smoke. It's like, I mean, it's kind of campfire smoke, I would say. Yeah, that makes me think of smoked pineapple. Like if you go to a churrasco place and they come around with that smoked pineapple. One more sip. Yeah, yeah. Hope you're picking up on all those lovely mouth noises. I know that's everybody's favorite thing on YouTube. Honestly, like, I need to get more into Campbelltown, you know. So probably be doing some traveling out of state this year. So I gotta try more of these whiskeys. Well, thanks for joining. If you stuck around this long, extra thanks. Highly recommend. This has got to be. I mean, so far I would consider it one of the best whiskeys I've ever had. Springbank 12-year, cask strength. I mean, that's good whiskey. All right. Well, thanks for joining. To drink, perchance, to dram, and we'll see you on down